People of Kwara State and all my viewers watching right now, something serious is happening. And it's not small at all. This matter is deep, and it concerns the safety, dignity, and frustration of ordinary citizens. The story making the rounds is that angry Yoruba youths in Kwara have risen against their traditional ruler, the Emir of Saragi, because of the unbearable fear, pain, and suffering caused by constant bandit attacks. Let me take my time and explain this situation clearly so everyone will understand what is really going on. But before I continue, please, if you are watching this video right now, kindly like this video and subscribe to this channel. It helps us to keep bringing you the kind of detailed updates and honest analysis that others might not tell you directly. Now, here's the full gist. In a town called Saragi, in Edu local government area of Kwara State, the youths came out boldly, and when I say boldly, I mean without fear, to protest. Their cry was loud and simple. We are tired of insecurity. Too many families in their community have suffered from kidnappings, violent attacks, and night raids by bandits. Some have lost loved ones, some have lost their farms, and some have lost all hope. They feel abandoned by the authorities. They feel that both government officials and security forces have failed to protect them. So out of frustration and desperation, they carry their anger straight to the palace of their traditional ruler. To them, the palace is not just a building. It's a symbol of leadership, of power, and of protection. And if their leaders, both political and traditional, cannot speak up or act on their behalf, then they want answers directly. Please, as you are following this gist, don't forget to like this video and subscribe right now, because what we are discussing is serious and it affects the lives of ordinary people across the north and even beyond. According to reports, the protesters marched directly to the Emir's palace, chanting and demanding that the Emir, Alhaji Aliyu Abdullah Puwagoshi II, should publicly speak out about their situation. They wanted him to use his position and influence to demand stronger action from the government. They wanted to hear him condemn the killings. They wanted him to stand with them, not stay silent. In their words, they just want safety. They want peace. They want to be able to sleep at night without fear that gunmen will break into their homes. But in the middle of that protest, something unexpected happened. The Emir, instead of addressing their cries, reportedly ordered that the leader of the protest, a young man named Musa Saidu Saragi, should be arrested. Yes, you heard that right. The Emir claimed that this young man was the one inciting trouble and causing unrest. That single decision changed everything. The crowd went from tense to furious. And before I go deeper, please take a second, like this video now and subscribe to this channel, because what I'm about to tell you next will shock you. According to Musa himself, he didn't even start the protest violently. He said he was summoned to the palace, and when he went, he was harassed, insulted, and intimidated. He said the Emir and his aides tried to silence him and even brought in security forces to threaten him. For the youths, that was like pouring petrol on fire. They felt disrespected and betrayed. They said, so instead of listening to our pain, they are arresting us? That's when the protest truly exploded. Some reports claimed that the Emir was chased out of the palace. While that part remains unconfirmed, what is clear is that a serious confrontation occurred. Tempers flared, emotions boiled over, and the tension was very real. Again, my people, before we go further, like this video and subscribe, because your support is what helps us keep bringing you these kinds of updates, raw, detailed, and straight to the point. Now, let's not pretend that this protest in Saragi is isolated. It's not. It's part of the growing pattern in Kwara State. Earlier this year, in Lafiagi, another group of angry youths stormed the Emir's palace, also because of repeated kidnappings and bandit attacks. In that pace, they even vandalized parts of the palace before security agents intervened. In Patigi and Kayama, there have been smaller protests too. In some places, protesters even blocked major roads like the Ilorin-Kaba Highway, demanding that the government must finally listen. So what does this tell you? It shows that insecurity in Kwara is boiling over, and the people,
especially the youths, are no longer willing to keep quiet. They are tired of empty promises. They want safety, and they are ready to take their cries directly to the doorsteps of those in power. Please, while you are listening, like this video and subscribe because understanding this situation matters. Now, let's break down the reasons behind these protests. The first reason is simple: insecurity. People can no longer farm. They can't travel freely. They can't sleep peacefully. The second reason is silence from leaders. In rural communities, traditional rulers are not just cultural symbols, they are seen as the voice of the people. When bandits attack villages, it is the Emir or Oba who is expected to cry out first. But when leaders are seen as quiet or disconnected, people interpret it as neglect. The third reason is the awakening of the youth. Today's youth are not the same as before. They are more informed, more organized, and more outspoken thanks to social media. Platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok give them a voice that cannot be ignored. When they protest, the whole nation hears them. They know how to get attention, and that's exactly what they are doing. Please, as we go deeper into this gist, click the like button and subscribe because this kind of deep explanation is what helps more people understand the full picture.
But my people, let's also talk about the risks involved in these protests. Because when people's emotions are high, anything can happen. The first danger is violence. If security forces are deployed to stop protesters and they use force, a peaceful protest can easily turn bloody. We've seen it happen before, in places like ENSA's protests, where a small misunderstanding led to chaos. The second risk is loss of trust. When people feel ignored, they lose faith not just in traditional rulers, but also in the government. And when that trust is gone, communities start taking matters into their own hands, forming vigilante groups, carrying weapons, and sometimes clashing with both bandits and security forces. The third risk is ethnic tension. Some protesters were heard saying that Fulani settlers should leave. That kind of statement is dangerous. Once insecurity turns into an ethnic issue, it can divide communities and cause new conflicts. We've seen it in Plateau, Benue, and even Kaduna before. That's why this issue in Kwara must be handled with great wisdom. And yes, my people, while you're reflecting on this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe because we must continue spreading awareness before things escalate further. Now, let's look at another angle: politics. Whenever protests happen in Nigeria, especially around issues like insecurity, politicians see opportunities. Some will use it to attack their opponents. Others will act like they are standing with the people just to score political points. With elections always around the corner, some politicians are already trying to align themselves with the youth movements in Kwara. This is why you, as a viewer, must be wise. Not every loud voice is genuine. Some are playing the political game. And if we're not careful, the real cry of the people, the genuine pain, can be hijacked by selfish agendas. So stay informed, and while doing so, please like this video and subscribe, because here we tell it as it is, no sugarcoating. Now, what happens next? A few things are likely. The Kwara State government may step in to calm tensions. We may hear official statements, maybe even see more police or military presence in Edo local government. The Emir of Saragi himself may issue another statement, either to defend his action or to call for peace. But one thing is almost certain: more protests will come if people continue to feel ignored. Once social media videos of these protests go viral, other towns might follow suit. And when that happens, the story will take on a life of its own. Please, my people, like this video and subscribe because we must continue spreading awareness before things escalate further.
Now, beyond the surface of these protests lies a deeper issue: the changing perception of leadership in Nigeria. In the past, palaces were untouchable. People saw traditional rulers as sacred figures who should never be questioned. But now, when lives are in danger, people are losing patience. Respect is turning into a demand for accountability. The youths are saying, if you claim to be our father, then protect us. And that's a very powerful message. Whether you live in Kwara or anywhere else in Nigeria, this situation shows that Nigerians are no longer ready to suffer in silence. They want leadership that listens, leadership that acts, leadership that stands with the people, not above them. Now, let's talk about the political consequences. When people start protesting not just against politicians, but also against traditional rulers, it sends a strong signal that trust has collapsed on all sides. It forces everyone, governors, lawmakers, and federal authorities, to sit up. Because the next time people go to vote, they will remember who stood with them in times of danger and who stayed silent. Think about it. If insecurity continues like this until 2027, how do you think the youth will respond during the elections? They might punish politicians who ignored them. And many politicians know this. That's why you suddenly see some of them rushing to release press statements whenever there's a protest. They want to look proactive, but talk is cheap. The people want results. Again, while you're thinking about this, please like this video and subscribe, because this truth is what many platforms will not tell you. Now let's look at the traditional angle again. Historically, Emirs, Obas, and other traditional rulers are the custodians of their people's welfare. They don't only preside over festivals or titles, they are supposed to be the bridge between the people and government. So when a community marches to the palace, it's not necessarily an act of disrespect. It's a desperate call for help. But when a ruler responds by arresting a protest leader, it gives the impression that he is siding with authority instead of standing with his people. And that can deeply damage the respect people have for the throne. Once that respect is lost, it's very hard to rebuild. Please, as I'm saying this, like this video and subscribe so more people can hear this balanced perspective.
Let's now talk about the impact on the community. First, there's fear. Families are scared that things might escalate. Nobody wants to see clashes between security forces and protesters. Nobody wants bandits to use the confusion as a chance to strike again. Second, there's division. Some people believe protesting at the palace was wrong, that it disrespects tradition. Others say it's the only way leaders will understand the depth of their suffering. This disagreement can create cracks within the same community. Third, there's awareness. Whether people agree with the protest or not, the truth is it has brought national attention to the pain of Saragi's people. And sometimes that awareness alone is enough to push the government to act. Now let's not ignore the sensitive ethnic dimension. During the protest, some angry voices reportedly told Fulani settlers to leave. That is a dangerous path. Insecurity must not turn into tribal hate. Once ethnicity enters the conversation, violence can multiply fast. That is why traditional and political leaders must step in quickly, not with threats, but with dialogue. And again, my people, before we continue, please like this video and subscribe, because this matter is still unfolding and more updates are coming. Finally, let's look at the possible future. What happens next will depend on how leaders respond. The Kwara State government might launch a peace dialogue. The Emir might apologize or explain his actions. The youths might organize again if nothing changes. Or worse, the authorities might clamp down harder, leading to new rounds of protests. But one thing is certain, insecurity has now forced the people to confront both political and traditional power, and that is a turning point in Kwara's history. So my brothers and sisters, let me ask you, if you were in Saragi, would you have joined the protest or stayed back? Do you think marching to the palace was the right move, or do you think it went too far? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let's talk, because your voice matters in this discussion. And before we wrap up this gist,
Please kindly like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share it with others. Your support helps us grow, and it helps keep the truth alive. This matter in Kwara is far from over, and as always, we will be here to bring you every update, every angle, and every truth that matters to the people. Stay safe, stay alert, and remember, leadership is about protecting lives.